Hello everyone and welcome to Time Gaming. BS60 had brought a strong start to the Contract Saga, and soon we will have BS61, Liberation of God, to fulfill its large shoes. To do that, BS61 boasts the return of Grand Walker Nexus with Tescat Lipoka, introduces two new partners, Oboro and Gadal, as well as bring back reprints of popular competitive cards, the Purple World, the Green World, and the Bloodshed Blade. As always, I sat down with your friendly neighborhood English Wiki admin, Ayumu, to pick our favorite cards from the set. So first of all, we have Firefiend Wyvern, which not only shares the same Mirage effect with Dust Edge and Farwood, but also allows you to recover your grow in Trash or Soul state, allowing you to resume your counter gain with relatively low cost. We then both pick the Burning Flame Dragon Rise Grow, because not only does it allow you to get your grow in Soul state back online by descending on it during your main step, but its overcount also allows a lot of strong plays. The simplest one will be allowing you to descend Grow Kaiser on it while being refreshed, and with another base card to ensure that it stays in descension state after you use Grow Kaiser's overcount effect. Or you can combo it with the overcount of Red Edge Dragon Wyvern to get a life burn with your normally summoned Rise Grow. Next up is Mugen Dragon the Trinity Star, the combined form of everyone's favorite baby dragons. At first, it looks like it was meant to be a romance card, but just like Lord Dragon Zero, it came with a strong synergy with its own deck. The red incarnate deck especially can get Trinity Star online early thanks to Mugen's effect. And while it doesn't have protection on its own, it can be pretty sturdy with its high PP, cost, and number of symbols. Additionally, its overcount allows you to use the overcount of its base cards, which allows you to build your own ideal Trinity Star. Moving to the purple section, we will start with the enchanting Fresh Blood Princess Akaha that can jump in when any of your purple spirit is destroyed, allowing you to use her as a hand trap in many purple decks. Her when summoned or destroyed effect can destroy any opposing exhausted spirit, making her work especially well with purple rebirth cards while giving you more cards to work with. As a follow-up to Akaha's destruction effects, you can summon out Bagurago to power down opposing spirits regardless of armor effect, allowing your other effects to finish them down with ease. Just like the Margur Chapel in BS60, the Moon Ogre Castle is certainly a spectacle to look at. On top of being able to be deployed from the trash during your main step and mitigating the opponent's lower cost summon, its level 2 flash effect allows you to destroy one of your spirit to draw one, so you can trade your blocker with a draw or time your when destroyed effects to your needs. Then it's the star-studded green. It was pretty hard to whittle down our favorites because it is green. They are good if you can draw them. My first pick will be Great Veil, which brings variety to your selection of jammer cards, while its high speed gives it the flexibility to increase your number of attacks, and it's simple when summon or attack effect that gives you one core, doesn't let it rot when you have too many copies of it in your hand. Then we have Electrum. While its burst effect is simple, its additional trigger allows you to stop aggro decks before they can use their when attack effect, as well as possibly escaping burst lock effect. Lastly, we have the Fatal Attack. It is certainly a strong magic card that you can use both offensively and defensively, because you can choose 0 to 3 targets to heavy exhaust, removing their refresh spirit from the equation, or return to the bottom of the deck, removing their extender or finisher candidate after the attack. When used in a green contract deck, you can also use it simply to stop your opponent from stopping your attack step. The good white cards this time mostly belongs to the armored beast deck, so the only one that stood out for us is Rex Stark, which just like Rise Grow allows you to get your Stark back online, and allows a more aggressive playstyle as its overcount allows you to attack twice while removing potential blockers. For yellow, we have put Oracle 18 the Moon and her Over Magic. Over Moon has a simple effect to add one core from the void to your life, and while it's a hard once per turn, it is nevertheless valuable with how easy yellow can recover magic cards. The Moon herself, which Ayumu has confirmed to not be the same person as Trickster, allows you to do just that by fetching a magic from your trash when it is summoned. However, her true value in the Gold Cloud comes as she permanently increases the symbol of your Gold Cloud spirits in the turn where she attacks, allowing you to finish your opponent easier when the number of your attack is limited. We are finally at blue, so the first slice of the cake goes to Fishbone Golem, which can be summoned when it is discarded from your hand with your effect, subsequently deploying an Azure Wave Nexus from your hand and giving you counter. This allows you to start with a draw magic to dig through your deck, while still ending the turn with 2 symbols and up to 3 counters if you deploy Virkaic Pitch. Backtracking a bit to Gagagui the Mad Scientist, it gives an unblockable effect to your blue contract spirit to improve their survivability or allow them to finish the game. Additionally, you can opt to start with it to slow down the opponent's setup with its level 2 effect. This effect stacks, so you can have multiple Gagagui in level 2 to make it harder for your opponent to play their defensives, or simply buy more time to approach the mid game. Then we have Score Emperor. This card is good. It is a burst that gives you one core for every card your opponent adds to their hand, which is especially good against blue. When your opponent has too many cards in their hand, you can destroy 3 of their cost 7 or less spirits, which does the job most of the time. It also can be destroyed as a burst, so opposing Spitzer Dragon will not be able to stop it from activating. Heck, since Spitzer Dragon should be summoned first if your opponent chooses to summon it anyway, you can destroy Spitzer with Score Emperor's burst effect. Before we leave, the double extra of Battle Spirits is probably one of the biggest hit or miss in a game, and they pretty much hit it this time. So let's talk a bit about the 6 absolute deities that are being introduced in this set, as they will be the first cards that have multiple overcount effects. Thanks to them being able to descend on top of your spirits from the Contract Saga family of its color, and its overcounts having no descension requirement, they become generic enough to be a nice options for your deck. Their weakness, if any, is the fact that despite having very appealing setup effects, their overcount requirements are still pretty high, and they have no effects to increase your counters to contribute to achieving their overcount. So those were our favorite cards in this set that we want you guys to try out, but what do you guys think? Did your favorite card make it to the list? Or is there any that you think we missed? Do share them in the comments below. This time we focus on cards that are more general, but we are planning to make a separate video to discuss the new decks that you can make in this set. So if you are interested in that, we look forward to it by subscribing to Time Gaming. That has been everything from me, Theodore Lu, your host, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye bye!